All right, we're gonna go
grab some.
We're gonna go grab some cams. We got Mickey's. What are people saying, or what are they doing?
They're screwing motorcycles up.
They're messing motorcycles up by putting in cams.
Because the mechanics are reading a book.
Because the mechanics are reading books. All right, we got to get them out of the boxes first.
We got a lot. Some cool shit.
So what cams do you put in bikes? Are there a number of brands? Is there one brand?
I'm gonna tell you.
You're gonna tell?
Hang on, we're gonna do a story.
We're gonna tell a story.
Tell a story.
An educational story.
Educational story.
Mickey University.
Yeah, better than YouTube.
Way better than YouTube. Even though this is probably gonna go on YouTube, but you know.
Yeah, YouTube University.
Alright, let's make some space. So what do we got here?
Okay, where do we start? So this is a variety of camshafts. We got Woods, S&S's, and Screaming Eagles. I like all the camshafts. Particularly, put a cam in that fits the guy that rides the motorcycle. And what type of bike he has, what kind of riding he does. We don't want to do this anymore. This is old school. This is old school. Open this up and read what it does. That doesn't work. Either know or ask somebody that knows and do it that way instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. Because all you do with all these engine builders do is screw us up with tuning. So they all say it works, but most cams screw bikes up. If we notice you drive them stock, they run pretty good. They do everything that the customer wants it to do. They just want more of that. So a lot of engine builders or shops want to put in gigantic cams because all they want to do is make numbers without building an engine. Well, that's great in theory, but it truly doesn't work. If you had let's start with like a twin cam, a bone stock twin cam. This is the best camshaft you could buy for a bone stock twin cam. That means it's got stock head, stock valve spring, stock compression. This is one of the best cams you could purchase. It does everything from the bottom to red line, makes horsepower, makes torque, does everything good. And this guy is really smart. He's really smart. When you talk to him on the phone, he's really smart. So I like his TW555s, and if you have springs and you have a 10 to 10.5 to 1 motor, or 9.8 to 10.5 to 1 motor, run his 777s. It's fantastic. If you don't have any head work, you don't have anything done, and you don't want to use this camshaft, leave it stock and just tune it.
Now, can we open that up and look at it?
Yeah. They come brand new, and if somebody's not sure of what the guy had in his bike, all you have to do is pull the sprocket cover off, and the end of the camshafts will tell you what the names are that are on the camshafts. TW555.
Okay, and then so the size of those rings is
This is what controls valve opening.
point it towards the
Bigger this is, the more spring we got to have, and it's not necessarily the tension of the spring, it's the less coils. So more coils you have in a spring, the softer the spring is.
Let's compare that one to a different one, just to show with a side-by-side comparison.
Well, this is a twin cam, this is an MA.
But you can see clearly, right?
This is a camshaft you cannot put in without having heads done. And the only reason I say heads is because the valve springs have less coils on them, which make them stiffer. More coils make a spring softer. When you run a bigger cam, it's got to have less coils because it will cause coil bind. Or it's even possible you need to lower the guides down because it will actually coil bind and the retainer will smash the valve guide seal, make a mess. We see it a lot.
Okay, what's in these boxes?
So
More of the
that's
same.
pretty much on a twin cam. And I know twin cams have been around forever and everybody's trying to reinvent the wheel with them, and they still continue to try to reinvent the wheel with them. It is what it is what it makes. So if you put a camshaft in a guy's twin cam that actually works, you'll be a happier customer and you'll be a happier tuner when I get the bike to tune it. If you had a Screaming Eagle twin cam that's got a 10.5 to 1 motor, the TW55s is one of my go-tos, and also, believe it or not, Screaming Eagle makes one of the best camshafts ever made for that motor. It's off the bottom, it makes good horsepower, it does everything good. But you gotta have a 10 to 10.5 to 1 motor with heads on. The Prowlers, you don't have to. That's the Prowlers and the SE255s for like an 88 cubic inch motor. So never mind that old stuff. Let's go into the new stuff. So M8s. If you got a stock M8 that is a 107, the only camshaft that works is a Woods 22X, not an XE, a 22X. It's very similar to the Harley Davidson 462 horsepower cam. They're almost identical in power, torque, everything. On a 107, that is the only camshaft that I will sell a customer that has a 107. A lot of guys say they want to put a 475 in a 107. If you take a Woods 22X or a 462, they will make the exact same horsepower at red light as this does, but it will make 23 pounds more torque at 22 to 2700 RPMs. This camshaft loses all of its torque because the motor's not big enough to pump it. If you had a 114 or a 117, this is my go-to, S&S 475. By far, it's got the great thump, it does everything right, hauls ass off the bottom, it does everything good. On indicating with this camshaft, because it is so big, you can't run this cam with a stock throttle body. It doesn't work. I don't care who shop tells you, I don't give a crap, it doesn't work. You can't get the bottom end out of it. The motor with this cam is the biggest cam you could pretty much buy with stock heads. It needs a 64 throttle body with 6.2 injectors. The 5.5s do not produce enough fuel to make this camshaft run in an M8. And the stock throttle body does not produce enough air, and neither does the stock air cleaner. Unless you had a 117 that's got the forward facing one, but the other air cleaners that Screaming Eagle sells, or the smaller ones that come with the bikes, they're not big enough. The motor needs air pump. But that is a go-to for a 114, 117 M8 with a 64 body, 6.2 injectors. It gets busy. It's my go-to. It's like my favorite. Build an engine, 131, 128, 124, and you put a set of SE heads on it, branch heads. You know, numerous guys make good heads. Lots of good heads out there that guys are porting that are making good numbers. Me personally, as a street bike guy, most of my consumers have 2-up, baggers. They rev them up to 4,500 and they shift. They don't sit at 6,000, 6,500. I use a 540 cam in those. And some of the baggers have certain pipes that don't make any bottom end, and they put a 550 cam in them. They will hesitate no matter what off the bottom, leaving a stoplight. But take that exact same bike that he's got, change the cam from a 550 to a 540, and it's instant torque off the bottom. Good example, I got two 131s. One has a 550. They're both built identical. One makes 140 horsepower and 146 pounds of torque. That has a 550 cam in it. The cam comes on at like 2,700 RPMs. So it's a limp noodle up to 27. You take that exact same engine, and the bike right next to it has a 540 cam in it. It made 137 horsepower, but it made 153 pounds of torque at 2,200 RPMs. What's a better street cam? So, word of the day is, you shops that are selling people high performance stuff, Put something in that matches the consumer that's owning the motorcycle. He's a road racer. Obviously, we don't want him 540. He's never below 4,500 RPMs. You got a street bike guy that's going to Cook's Corner, have some cocktails, go home. He's just enjoying his bike. Put a 540 in. And he'll be a lot happier.
Hell yeah. And so, what do you recommend? People bring their bike down to Mickey
Just bring
Cohen?
it down here, or make a phone call and I'll tell you what to put in it.
Yeah.
And then just bring it to me to tune it. Because I'll actually tune the freaking thing.